Books make you hope. Books make you dream. Books make you laugh. Books make you scream. This is the Books That Make You show, discussing books with authors and experts, unraveling the inner pages of all the books that help make us who we are. Hosted by Desiree Duffy.
Welcome, one and all. It is time for the Books That Make You show. I am your host, Desiree Duffy, and we are talking about books that make you confident about being fat. I said a taboo word, didn't I? I said fat instead of saying overweight or big boned or thick. I get it. We often call ourselves fat, right? Without a second thought, but we would never say it about somebody else. I've said it. I've said, oh my God, look at my big fat thighs and look at my big fat belly. We say things like that. But then if somebody else says it to us, we suddenly think of that as being offensive. And why is that? Shouldn't we embrace that terminology? Shouldn't we take confidence and own our own self-esteem about what our body image actually is? What if I told you that it was okay to embrace your body, no matter what size it is, and look at yourself as being beautiful and lay claim to the word fat? Our guest today does just that. Patrice Shavone Brown is our guest, and she has written the groundbreaking book, A Fat Girl's Confidence Guide. And we're going to explore this empowering topic with her today. Now, she's also the founder of the Confident Fat Girls Movement. She is a mental health counselor, and she's authored other books as well. She has The Secrets of a Crazy Mental Health Counselor, as well as We Blend Well Together, the Day Momma Made Me Dance, and the Finesser 1 and the Finesser 2. So she's written both fiction and nonfiction. Patrice, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi.
So how did I do there? Did that sound right? I mean, because it's when I say the word fat, I want to slap myself. I want to stop because for some reason that feels taboo. But you basically taken that terminology and said, no, let's embrace it. Right?
Yeah. For me, when I hear the word fat, it really just goes, over my head now because I'm sort of kind of conditioned to hearing it. But if you're a person that, gets in a depressive state or get offensive when you hear the word fat, you haven't sort of kind of gotten over it. So when I wrote A Fat Girl's Confidence, I was trying to do just that, get you conditioned to hearing the word fat. So when you do hear it, you wouldn't feel in the dumps or get into your feelings. I just wanted you to basically overcome the word and just, say, hey, I'm fat. So what? I'm going to celebrate who I am regardless.
Yeah. And I think sometimes this just goes to show us that we get hung up on words. We get hung up on their meanings. And I think it's interesting because it's okay. I'll call myself fat. I'll say that. I'll say that to my girlfriends. Maybe not so much now as I did when I was in my 20s and 30s or even as a teenager. We all stood around the mirror going, oh my God, look at my big fat butt. Yeah. And then your girlfriends would sit there and go, oh no, you're not fat. Yeah. Like there's that conversation. We've all had it, especially as women, probably a million times. And I love the way that you're just basically saying, no, this is something that we should embrace.
Right. And we should. The more that we embrace the word fat or just get used to hearing it, we won't become down. We won't, start going on these diets and doing all these different things where if we just embrace it and just say, hey, I'm fat. So what? If I want to lose weight, I'm going to do it. But if it's not necessary, I don't really have to. I'm comfortable with who I am. So again, we just have to learn what's acceptable for us. And if media is saying, hey, a size 8, size 5 is what the beauty standards are, then that's just what the media is saying. But for me, when I wrote A Fat Girl's Confidence, I just wanted to simply say, hey, I'm fat. So what? I'm going to get up and celebrate who I am regardless. And if I hear the word fat, so what? It goes over my head. I'm not going to get into my feelings about it.
I love that because it's about us kind of taking control of that word. it's just a word. It's the old sticks and stones adage. Now, you brought up something very important. I want to dig into the media, because you're right. The media, whether it's magazines, newspapers, the internet, social media, television, the shows that we watch, it all has that message that if you're, oh my God, a size 8. I wish I was a size 8.
Right.
So, yeah, let's talk about that message that the media puts out there.
Well, when we look on Instagram or social media outlets, we see all these beautiful models. They're slim, So for me, when I'm looking at social media and all over the world, when we think about beauty standards, we're thinking about the petite women, the slender women. They're the most attractive right now. There is some talk about the BBW and the fluffy queens, our whole movement and takeover. But to me, I still feel as though the standards for beauty are set at size 8 or below. And me being from North Carolina, I don't feel like that's a right beauty standard for me. That's not my whole perception of beauty. And I know a whole lot of other women that are like, hey, well, I'm a size 14 and I'm still beautiful. I'm going to wake up each and every day and just be who I am. I don't feel like I have to be a size 8. If I choose to lose weight, if I choose to make some changes about myself, it won't be because of what society is saying is the beauty standard. I'm going to do it because I know that I need to make some changes about me.
And I think that's where the confidence comes in, because nothing is sexier than confidence, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're like, this is me, and you're confident, that can be hot right there.
Yeah, I think a lot of men, well, you know what? I know that a lot of men fall for that type of thing because they're like, okay, well, she's different. Okay, let me see what this is about. I see that confidence. I see that glow in her, regardless of flaws. People are going to flock to you if you're confident, and if your esteem is high, they're going to flock to that no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to the media too, with the way that they portray everybody, and like you said, there's this idea that we need to be a size 8. Well, I believe that the average size of a woman is 12 or a 14. That's actually normal. So if you look at the fact that they see you needing to be a size 8 or less, but really where people are mostly at, and where they're healthy too, because that's the other end of the spectrum. If you're too skinny, that's not a healthy body lifestyle either.
Okay.
Yeah. And on the flip side, I think too, the message is if you are bigger and you need to lose weight for health reasons, this isn't a matter of just saying that, you shouldn't do that for health reasons. It's a matter though of having that confidence and believing in yourself. And if you do need to either gain or lose weight for health reasons, that's a different conversation altogether, don't you think?
Right. And if you do need to lose the weight, in my book, I wasn't saying if you're overweight, just stay that way. If you have some type of health condition, I talk about it in the book. I say, if you need to make these necessary changes for health, then do just that. I'm not encouraging women to not exercise or to not eat right. But if you feel the need to go out there and make those necessary changes, then do just that to save your life. You can still be confident smaller. You don't have to be a size 8. You don't have to continue to be the same weight. Like if you're a size 22 or if you're having these health conditions, then do what's best for you. I went through my journey of weight loss as well. Because I felt as though as I was getting older, the older that I get, I feel like some changes need to take place with me. Although I'm still a fluffy queen, as some women say, I'm still a fat girl, BBW. I just wanted to make some necessary changes too, to just work on my health so that I could live longer and deal with my children. And, it's just totally up to you. Just simply celebrate regardless if you're small, big, skinny, or a fat girl like me. Just do what's best.
Can we talk a little bit more specifically about your journey then? I mean, How did you come up with this idea? What was the impetus that started this, not only the book, but you've got a whole movement around this as well?
Oh, okay. So the start was me having my daughter in 2012, and I gained like a lot of weight. You know, I was always overweight or a fat girl, as I say. But when I picked up those pounds with my daughter, I just felt like, okay, I want to do something to encourage other women, because I know I went through my whole depressive state. When I'm looking in the mirror and I'm seeing me look different, and I'm like, oh, wow, like I have to work to get back to the Patrice that I once knew. And just looking at TV and the different models and what people were saying is beautiful. And I still felt beautiful deep down, but on the outside, I didn't like what I was seeing in a way. So being a counselor, when I went in to counsel some of the members that I have, they suffer with weight issues. I just sort of said one day, well, let me write about this. You know, I'm a fat girl. I went through my ups and downs. I talk with women each and every day that are just like me. And we just need to celebrate who we are. So that's when I started to write down A Fat Girl's Confidence, the whole manuscript. And I started coming up with this whole idea about a movement, because other women that I talked to were telling me their stories that they've had with depression and feeling down, or being bullied as younger girls, being called fat. And that was the very beginning for some women to have mental health issues right there. Mm-hmm. So just being in the field and just hearing different stories is what really motivated me to start A Fat Girl's Confidence book. Yeah.
That's great. And it's great that you have this movement. And in a little while, I'll ask you a little bit more how people can learn more about that and get involved. But first, can you tell us what it means to be the beauty they all said we could never be? What does that sentence mean?
Basically, just be who you are, regardless of naysayers, regardless of the standards, regardless of society's concept of beauty. Just be who you are, regardless. And let's just celebrate each and every day that you have life. That's what I mean by that whole statement.
I like that. And then as a mental health counselor, so I bet you're working with a lot of people, and you were saying before that this is kind of the thing that, you know, that you're seeing, that it leads to depression, it leads to self-confidence issues. So what are some of the things that people should think about, or maybe realize if they're feeling depressed, if they're feeling down about themselves? What are some of the first steps that they should take? Should they get in touch with somebody like you? What should they do to help themselves as far as their mental health goes?
Well, number one, before reaching out to a professional, try getting with a friend, somebody that you can trust, and talk with them. A friend, some type of pastor, somebody that you're close with that's going to give you an honest opinion, and just disclose to them how you're feeling. You know, some people have committed suicide from bullying. You know, some people have committed suicide because they didn't feel beautiful. People have committed suicide simply because other people have broken them down so much. Now, when you start to get those suicidal thoughts, reach out to a professional as soon as possible. You know, you can reach out to people like me, counselors, there's coaches, there's pastors, like I said, there's different mentorships, there's groups that you can join that are uplifting, people that are inspirations. If you could see yourself in a person, join their movement, join their group, get in contact with them, disclose to them your story, because you are important. And I tell this to women all the time, you're important. We're all important. You know, if I'm going through something, and if I share my story with you, just by me opening up my mouth and telling you the things that I've went through, we can both uplift each other.
That's fantastic. And that's the core of the movement as well. So if people would like to, tell us how they can get involved with the actual movement, website. How does that all work?
Okay, so I have a Fat Girls Confidence page on Instagram. We're growing. I'm also Patrice_Shavone on Instagram, but you can go to my actual website. That's patriceshavone.com, and you could click on the pledge for the Confident Fat Girls movement. We celebrate each and every September, and the first thing that I always say is share your story with us so that we'll be able to be an inspiration to each other. And each September, I look forward to meeting so many different ladies. I believe our first year of doing it, we went to Jamaica. This year, we had to stay in North Carolina, but we had a fabulous time. So again, I'm on all social media outlets. I'm Patrice Shavone Brown on Facebook just as well. So you can reach me at any time. And on my website, you can click and set up some type of session. A breakthrough session is what I call it. You can click and we can connect that way also.
Are you seeing too? I mean, I love the way you're using social media for a positive on this. Are you seeing younger women, teenagers, young adults who have grown up natively with social media? How is this impacting them? Because when I grew up with this, I didn't have social media. So that was one less layer, one less thing that I had to, quote unquote, worry about. With, young people today, is it different because of social media, especially as it pertains to their body image?
Yeah, it's a lot different. And, that's a part of me where I'm like you. I didn't really have social media out here to sort of kind of compete with or to look at myself and like, I don't look like them. I don't look like her, so it's different for me talking to some of the younger women and they're disclosing, their feelings towards the beauty standards. I'm still learning as I go with the younger ladies and we're teaching each other. Basically, that's that's the feedback that I could give to them is that we're learning through each other with this whole social media thing because I didn't have it. But all I know is beauty starts within. And those are some of the first things that I tell them when young ladies are like age 16, 17, 18, because you're going to go through different phases at that time in your life and things are going to change. And you know how you told me that now that you're an older woman, some of the things that you thought about back then, you don't think about them anymore. Those are the same things that I disclose to the younger ladies.
And that's really great too, the way the different generations can help each other. Because we might not have experienced Instagram, but boy, oh boy, did we have those bullies in high school. And it was the same, just different platforms, just different ways of getting that message.
Yeah, now it's easier. It's online. You can just click on your phone and just see it. And so, that has a whole mental issue also for the younger generation, just by you having that phone and a click, just that simple. So to me, I feel like the younger generation, they might have it a little bit harder than we do, because some things can't be erased that's online. So, but back then when I grew up, if something happened on the playground or in school, that was just what happened that day, or it might last for a day or two. It wouldn't be prolonged for weeks and people could click on something and rewind it or screenshot it or pull it up. So yeah, I feel like the new generation has it a whole lot harder than what we do.
And I feel too that moms and aunts and older sisters and, teachers as well, parents just in general, just kind of being cognizant of this and being aware, because your daughter or your niece or whatever, she might not want to speak about this. So I think maybe opening up that conversation. Do you have any thoughts or advice on that? Like how can the older generations help the younger generations?
Oh, wow. That's one of the things that I'm going through right now. We're trying to get my daughter to open up to me more. But for the most part, I think my daughter goes to my sister before she comes to me in a way. So if it's that one person that you could go to and talk to, I feel like you should open up to them and then just call a meeting where you can reflect on what the issues are as a whole. Because again, I'm still learning too as a parent. I'm still learning as a big sister, as a community leader, as a mentor. I'm still learning. So go to that person that you feel comfortable talking to and disclose how you're feeling, and then pull in others and have a group meeting. That's how I would handle it, or that's how I have been handling things recent.
Excellent advice. Now let's jump topics just a little bit, because you are so well-rounded in the fact that, yeah, you're an author of this book, but you're an author of other books too. One of the other books is Secrets of a Crazy Mental Health Counselor. Can you talk about that book just a little bit for us?
Okay, that's my very first book. Where is it? Hold on. Okay. All right. So this is Secrets of a Crazy Mental Health Counselor right here. It was my very first book. I published it in 2017. Again, I'm a self-published author. I'm going to say it was an easy manuscript to write, but the most hardest part about it was the editing. The book itself pretty much talks about my whole personal development versus my professional development. I sort of kind of disclose some different things, not only about myself that I struggle with, but I disclose some things that other people that suffer with mental health issues go through on a daily basis, like trying to survive, beating suicide, and overcoming depression. I sort of kind of disclose a lot of information in this book. And for the most part, I felt as though it would be important to share with the world, because many people feel like when you're a counselor or when you're in a certain position, you're supposed to exhibit perfection all the time. You're supposed to be perfect. And for me, I didn't want to be an example of perfection. I wanted to let people know that, like, I have flaws. And I know, like, there's other people that are in certain professions also that want to disclose some things, but they feel like they can't because you have this image to uphold. So Secrets of a Crazy Mental Health Counselor was that book for me to sort of kind of disclose, like, who I am and my whole journey of climbing up this career ladder. My struggles with parenting, my struggles with my everyday life. And I put the word crazy in there because I too, even though I'm a mental health counselor, I feel crazy at times because I'm going through so many different things, or I've felt crazy at times. So some of my titles could be out there, and a lot of people would ask me, why did you put that in here? Because those are emotions that I felt. And I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm perfect.
I like that so much. Bravo for that. You're right. Like, again, crazy in that context has that negative connotation. We shouldn't call people crazy if they're depressed, because then they might believe they're crazy. But right. You're basically saying, hey, it's okay. Mm-hmm. And the idea too, because so many times when people are depressed or they're feeling suicidal, they feel so utterly alone. And again, if you're presenting yourself as this idea of perfection mm-hmm. that no human being can ever obtain, in a way that could be worse for them, because they see their counselor or they see other people in the world as being idealistic, and that they don't feel they can live up to that. And that exacerbates the problem, and it just kind of perpetuates.
Yeah. As a counselor, you want to be relatable. You want people to be able to come to you and disclose different things to you. And when people come through my door, I don't want them to see me as, oh, this is Miss Brown. Let me get myself together. Let me put on this front. No, I want you to come in. I want you to be real about what it is that you're going through, because when I sit down with you, I want to disclose to you some things that I went through, some journeys, some hills that I've had to climb, so that we'll be able to meet and collaborate with one another so that you become better. Because I feel like it's important that we just stop faking, because there's so much fake stuff that goes on in the world today. We just need to be more real with ourselves and with others so that we can get past what our issues are. So again, Secrets of a Crazy Mental Health Counselor is a really good book because I just sort of kind of don't hold anything back. I was just journaling. That's how I started writing from the beginning, is just journaling, writing down my emotions and my thoughts, and just taking it there. And it was a form of stress relief and relaxation as well.
Oh, I bet. And that's great advice. One of the things that people can always do is just write it down, start your own journal. And you never know, that journaling might lead to a book or an idea or something down the road. Now, for you as somebody who is, I mean, you're an inspiration, you're a professional, you're somebody that people look up to. What tips or advice do you have for people who might either want to get into the mental health profession, counseling, or in other areas of healthcare and that professional business area? What advice do you have for them?
Oh, wow. Stay focused. Number one, stay focused is the biggest thing. When other people are going out, like if you're a person that's in college and you're in the human service field or science field, and if you want to be a counselor or psychologist or whatever, stay focused. Time management is important. Organization skills are important. Just being a simple people person and keeping it real with other people, that's important. And get a mentor, most importantly. Somebody that you can disclose some concerns to. They could give you criticism without you taking it to the extreme and, saying, well, I don't want to do this and just giving up. Get with a mentor, do mentorship with other people that you know are going to help you go to the next level. And just simply be you. Those are the tips I could give, because that's what I've did along this journey, is just simply realize like, hey, helping people is my profession. I love it. This is like my calling right here. If I can't help you, let's find somebody that can, because there's going to be times when you can't help everybody. And that was something else that I've had to overcome, wanting to be that person, that go-to person that's always got the answers, or I can handle this. No, you're going to get burnt out. So let me add that in there. Stress relief, finding ways to release stress, because if you're in the helping profession, you're dealing with issues every day. You need to have stress relief.
Excellent advice. And how about on the flip side of that? What advice or tips would you have for somebody who wants to write a book or journal or write down their story?
Number one, just start writing. Start writing. It doesn't matter what it is, just start writing. Get used to it and get used to whatever thoughts that come to your head, getting it out and putting it out on paper or on the computer, your manuscript. And focus on, this is one of the ones that I've had the biggest issue with, is marketing. I feel like marketing would be the most important part of that book, of your book journey, your book process, although editing is as well. But I have so much material, but I feel like I didn't market myself as well as I should. So go ahead and write those thoughts out. Make sure you get the books edited as many times as possible. With my first book, Secrets of a Crazy Mental Health Counselor, I had to get that book edited probably 2 or 3 times. I felt as though the book was right. I got an editor. They said, no, you still have other things that you need to correct. And then finally, getting with a great marketing team that supports you, that supports your vision.
Great advice. So with the holidays, it's the holiday season, Christmas is around the corner, the new year is right around the corner. Would you advise people grab a copy of your book for that New Year's resolution?
I do. This is the cover of A Fat Girl's Confidence. I'm fat, so what? You can pretty much find this book on Amazon. You can find it on Smashwords, Barnes and Noble. And the reason why I say you should pick this book up, because the new year is coming in. Everybody's always talking about new year, new me, new year, new you. Get the book and focus on, if you're going to be new, let's not do the whole weight loss journey thing, because a lot of times when we start getting into that weight loss resolution, we stop exercising, we stop doing all these different things. I'm going to say by the time Valentine's Day comes, we set a New Year's resolution and we've stopped it the very next month. So when you get this book, A Fat Girl's Confidence, we're not just talking about a new year, new you type of thing. We're talking about, hey, I'm who I am. I'm going to celebrate who I am. I'm going to be happy with who I am. If I choose to change something about me, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to set goals and standards for myself that I feel as though are beneficial. I'm going to set the right standards and goals that I could reach. I'm not going to set some goal that for me, I know I'm never going to be able to obtain.
Perfect advice. One more time, Patrice, before we head out, can you give everybody your social media and website so that they can find you online?
You can find me on Facebook as Patrice Shavone Brown. You can also find me on Instagram as Patrice_Shavone, or either A Fat Girl's Confidence. And my website is patriceshavone.com. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Patrice. It's been a pleasure, and bravo. Hold up that book one more time so everybody can see the cover when they go shopping for it. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for being here today. And thank you, everybody, for being here on the Books That Make You show. You can find us on our website. That is booksthatmakeyou.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, so you can both listen and watch Patricia's interview, as well as interviews that we've had with so many other wonderful authors and leaders. Until next time, all of my bibliophile friends, please enjoy all of the books that make you exactly who you are.
The executive producer for Books That Make You is Desiree Duffy. Produced and sound mastered by Phil Giangrande. Engineering by Dave Nabox. Social media and promotion by Bree Sweeter. For more, visit booksthatmakeyou.com.